Where do you get this much money for traveling as a photographer? How do I start making money as a photographer, especially when it's not by taking portraits? What is your main camera? What is your best advice to new photographer beginners? And how do I find clients? These are some of the questions that I'll be answering in today's Q&A. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Hugo. I've been doing photography for over 9 years now. And I'm going to be answering a lot of these questions now. And you can navigate to what questions sound interesting to you from the chapters below. And you can see the different questions in the description if you don't want to watch the entire thing from start to beginning. So let's kick this thing off. But before that though, I must say that if you are somebody who does want to understand how to gain freedom as a photographer, then you will love the roadmap that I've put together. And it is completely free. Just get it from the link in the description. I really wish I had that roadmap earlier when I wanted to make photography my career. So let's get this off. All right, so the first question, why do you not watermark any of your photos that you post? And the reason is really simple. It's because I don't see the point. Nowadays, if you really want to steal somebody's work, you'll just take the photo, you'll tell AI to remove the watermark and it's gone. Or you just go to Photoshop and you get rid of it. So while it makes it more difficult for somebody to steal your work, it's not gonna stop it. So if somebody is really gonna want to steal your work, they will, even with the watermark. And on social media, the photos then just won't look as nice if there's a watermark on them. So I don't want that. And then also watermark does take attention away from the actual thing that you're photographing. So personally, I hate watermarks. I never have them, never will. Where do you get this much money for traveling? And that is a great question. So first of all, travels don't need to be the most expensive thing in the world. That when I travel, right now the travels haven't been like in the 5 figures. Like no trip has cost me 5 figures. But then there are some trips that I do want to do that then would require over 10,000 invested in the trip. But how I make money is through my own business. And what I always wanted was to be able to travel the world and make photos. And so I designed my business that I can do that. I used to do client jobs and it was fun in some ways, but I have never truly enjoyed the client work side of things. So I gave that up. Then I went to selling my photos as NFTs and I was pretty successful at that. But then I didn't want to do that either. And then I went to teaching. So right now I teach and I help photographers build their own freedom-based businesses. And yeah, basically I help them make money and they will pay me to learn how to make more money. So that's how. Do I have a favorite budget camera? I must hold my hands up and say that no, I don't have a budget camera. When I want to do something, I really go for it and I invest a lot of money into it. And that's for cheap stuff. No, I don't really have, unfortunately. A lens could be, but I didn't ever get this for it being cheap. I saw it's worth the money and the quality was great. There's this lens that I have for night photography and it's called Laowa 50mm f2. Fantastic lens for my purposes. So that was like in USD, maybe $900. So that's on the more affordable side of lenses that I have. Then, what was the moment that made you decide that this was what you wanted to do? Honestly, I don't think there's like one clear moment where it was like, oh wow, I want to do this. It was more that what got me to pick up a camera was when I saw my cousin taking photos. And then I thought, that's very cool. You can capture moments in time and you can always go back to that. And I was like, I mean, yeah, that's really cool that you can go back to these special moments, special experiences. And when you know how to evoke emotions through photos and tell stories, then in theory, you can re-experience what you experienced through the photos that you've taken. And I found that is super cool. Then eventually I started to connect the dots and I was like, okay, well, I love traveling and I'm pretty good at this photography stuff. So why don't I connect the two and yeah, use my photography as help to get to travel? So then I started to go for this. How do I start making money as a photographer, particularly when it's not portraits? So this is a fantastic question. So all the business starts with solving a problem. So you must get clear what is a problem that you could solve. There are many different problems you can solve. Normal, average people have problems. Companies have problems. And then you just first must pick what is the problem that you solve. Because if you don't know what problem you're gonna solve, you aren't gonna make any money. For somebody to pay you, you must solve their problem. So that's the step one. Then get clear for who you're gonna solve the problem for. And if you're anything like me, you want to get paid a lot. And then in that case, you just must make sure you are solving an expensive problem. And if you are helping somebody make more money with your photos or save a lot of money, then you can charge a lot of money as well. So once you've got the problem, then you know who you are going to be solving it for. Then the next step is then designing your offer, packaging it, learning how to price it, how to sell it, then how to find the clients, and then how to contact the clients, and then how the process goes from there. That's basically the high-level steps that you can take. Again, I have made a roadmap with more detail. So if you do want that, then get it from the link in the description. What is your favorite lens? Great question. So I would say when I can use it, it's the 100 to 400 millimeter G Master from Sony, which Sony very kindly sent me 2 years ago. And it's so much fun when I get to use it, but I don't get to use it a lot. And now when I'm going to Kenya, I will be using it there, which I'm super excited of. But normally, what I use the most is the 16 to 35. And that kind of is my favorite. I love taking wide angle photos and it's just great. So the Sony size 16 to 35 millimeter f4. While traveling to different countries, what were the most common problems you faced? So I would say logistics and shopping. So how do you go from A to B? It's always a learning curve. Every country, every city can have it different. Like in Japan, when I went there, I was like, okay, well, how do I go from the airport to the city? And then different cities have different transportation systems. So how do you move around? Was, especially in Japan, was a big challenge. And then when you go to shop for things, and if you're anything like me, you don't want to eat just whatever, that you want to be healthy and you want to limit your sugar intake, then when you go to a new country, then there's always the language thing. Like when you go to a shop and there's everything in different language, then you gotta figure out what is what. Like when I go to, like in Japan, I will go and they take photos of the products, like the description, like what there is included. I will put it to AI and ask it like, what does this have? And then when I do that process the first time, it takes me like 2 hours to be in the shop and figure out where is sugar, where is not sugar, and so on. So I would say logistics and just understanding what am I eating and what do I want to buy. What's my main camera? I have a Sony a7 III. I've had this for since 8 years, and I'm not seeing a reason to upgrade. It has everything what I need. Photography is not about gear. Gear is just a tool, and I have a great tool here. When will I visit India? This is something that many people ask me, and the answer is that I don't know. It's on the plans. I want to do it. I will do it at some point, but I don't know yet when will I do it. I have a friend with whom we've been brainstorming that we want to do the trip, but we haven't decided when. There's so many destinations that I want to go to, and you just have to decide. Like, I don't want to anymore travel all the time. I used to think I want to be traveling 24/7, but now I want to do intentional traveling. So I decide, okay, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna be there like 2-3 weeks. I'll come back home, go again, and do it like that. And then it's much more chill, and I get to, it's more relaxing. So the answer is maybe in 2027, maybe 2028. We'll see. How do I stay warm while outside for so long? So yeah, I photograph in very cold weather, as some of you know. And the answer is that it is not always easy to stay warm. The first thing is that you must understand layering, that like what layers to have and when to have. So like when you're hiking, you need to have kind of like different layer of clothes than when you're then shooting and you're not moving as much. So you must be conscious of that. And yeah, well, you must make sure you do wear enough of clothing, because that's the number one mistake what people do, especially when they visit Finland, where I'm from. And yeah, then they always get cold and they have to go inside. So clothing, and then I also use hand warmers. Hand warmers is really, really good. Without hand warmers, I'd be in big problems. So every time I'm shooting, I have hand warmers, which are like small pouches that you can warm your hands with. I have those in my gloves because otherwise my fingers would just get too cold. So yeah, it's not easy, but it's definitely doable. What is my best advice for a photography beginner? So if you are somebody who does want to learn the fastest, then I recommend that you learn from somebody ahead of you and you practice a lot. That is the best way to go about it. Like the fastest way is that you get somebody to personally guide you, and then you practice a lot. And the person then makes sure you're progressing well. Like this is what I do inside my mentorship, for example. Then second best option is that you watch lessons or like generic courses online, and then you practice on your own and you do the analysis on your own. So it depends what you prefer, but learning and practicing is how you make progress. Do I have any siblings? What did my photos look like when you were 14? So 14 is when I started to do photos. And I'll put some photos here to just showcase my old work. I wasn't really good in the beginning. And keeping in mind that these are my best photos from that age. Like I didn't understand really the camera settings. I had big struggles with camera and making actually good photos. And yeah, I wasn't definitely confident in my skills. And I knew I was doing many things wrong. So yeah, everybody is not good in the beginning. And I do have siblings. Yes, I'm not gonna say how many, but I do. How do I find clients? So I'm gonna simplify this a lot for you. There's really only 4 ways you can find clients. Okay, 4 ways. One is that you reach out to your warm network, and this means that you contact people who you know, your friends, family, and so on. Maybe like colleagues, and you simply contact them to see if they would need your services. Likely not, but they might know somebody who does. So really simply just asking them that who do they know who could need your services, and then typically this is where you get your first clients. So when I teach photographers how to build their freedom-based businesses and get the high-paying clients consistent income, this is the step 1. Once we get to the client stage, that we utilize warm network because that's likely where they're gonna get the first money. Then from there is a cold outreach. So you reach out to people who don't know you, and you can find emails from online. There's different tools you can use to find emails, and you can send messages. You can use LinkedIn, you can use Instagram, you can go to Google Maps to find people to contact to. There's many ways, really. Then third thing is you can use content. So you put out content out there into the internet, whether that's to Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, the different platforms, and then you might then get clients from there. This isn't the most effective way to start, so I don't recommend to start with this, but this is something I do recommend doing for long term, and especially if you do know how to do it properly. I recently made a video about how to make thousands from social media without going viral. So I have linked it somewhere here on the corner. So watch that if you want to understand, how to overall navigate social media better and attract clients from there. Then fourth is paid ads. Paid ads can be fantastic, and the thing is though, it's not for everybody. And especially if you're just starting out, do not do paid ads, because the truth is that you aren't going to be good at ads yet, because you haven't done it before, you don't know what works, and when you're just starting out, you're just going to waste money. So don't listen to these people who say like, oh, you just do Google ads or Meta ads and you're just gonna get clients coming to you immediately, because that's nonsense. It's only true if you're very good at ads. But the truth is that in the beginning, you aren't gonna be good at ads. So that's why you shouldn't start with this. What you should start with is the warm outreach, then go to cold outreach, then you go ahead and you make content, and then you will see what content actually works, and then you can take that content and make it an ad. And now you know that so this is the psychology behind this, is that if a piece of content does very well organically, then it's likely gonna work as an ad. And best ads don't look like ads. So when you do this, then you maximize your chances. So do not start with the paid ads. And where do I see myself in the future is another question. And I don't know what exactly do you mean by this, but I would imagine like you're asking what's the vision for the future. I believe I'll be traveling the world like I do right now. That this is the dream I wanted always, that I can just pick pick where to go. I go there, I take photos, and I come back. And I've achieved it. And I do believe I will want to continue doing it. And especially in this intentional way. I don't want to be on the road all the time. I want to go to a destination, take photos, come back, go to another destination, come back, and have it like this. Right now, I'm in Bali, and this is the home base for part of the year, and I'm doing some trips from here. Then later on in the year, I will have another home base, and next winter I'll be in Finland taking photos again, and also in the autumn. And I believe I'll be traveling like this and taking photos, and also then helping other photographers build their own freedom-based businesses. Because I used to be in the position where I felt I was a good photographer, but I wasn't making good money. And it was really frustrating and difficult. When I started my business, it was so difficult, and I really had no idea what I was doing, and it wasn't really working out. So I want to help those photographers who are struggling, who do want to make this their career, but they just aren't getting paid enough, or maybe they aren't getting paid at all, maybe they're getting ignored, they don't know how to price their work. And when I get to help with this, and I do see people then transform their confidence, skills, and lifestyles, it's truly fulfilling. So I want to keep doing this for sure. All right, we're gonna wrap the Q&A there for now. Thanks for all the questions. And if you are somebody who does want to make photography your career and gain freedom to your life with it, then watch this video on the screen right now, where I do go through the high-level steps that I would recommend you to take to then go full-time into photography. See you there.